there to all of you viewers of Equinoxe Television, 6 p.m. in Douala. It's time for the news. Thank you so much for joining us. Our major stories right away. We are already in the month of March, and the month of March is dedicated to empowering women across the globe to assume their strengths and work on the few obstacles they face on a daily basis. Investing in women is the focus of the Women's Month this year. We will be bringing to you the experiences of some women in this edition of the news. And over 12 persons have lost their lives in a road accident which happened last evening at the entrance into Maroua in the far north region of Cameroon. Most of the victims of that fatal road accident are said to be children and babies. Those are our major stories. Details when we come back. Welcome back, viewers. Thank you so much for the confidence. We just told you in the headlines that at least 12 persons have lost their lives in an accident which occurred at Yonkole, a village at the entrance into Maroua in the far north region of the country. The accident has been blamed on an overloaded bus that transported refugees returning from the Mokolo to their camp in Minawawu in the far north. Regional Governor Mintiwa Bakari, visiting the 22 injured victims at the regional hospital, asked the doctors to take special attention for them. Let's now have more with Magic and Gabriel.
22-seater capacity inter-urban transport bus destroyed beyond repairs, chairs of the bus scattered, and foodstuffs all on the ground. This was the result of an accident which occurred at Yonkole village in between Mokolo and Maroua in the far north region.
People who went to get their food item, most of them are refugees who went to the camp to the Minawawu. So usually always at the end of the month they went there to get their commodity food item and so forth.
As a result of the accident that was caused by the faulty state of the bus, at least 13 occupants who were refugees returning to their camp in Minawawu died.
So far we have 12 persons died. We have 8 women and 4 children. And here in the hospital we have 22 persons who are here admitted.
Overloading has been blamed to be the cause of the accident.
This car had many problems, misfunction. The tire are very old, first of all, and they are on load. It's a car who usually take 22 persons. But right now, we noticed that they had more than 34.
The governor of the far north region, who was present at the accident scene in Yonkole village, also made a stopover at the emergency unit of the regional hospital in Maroua, where 22 victims were admitted, to give instructions to the medical doctors to take care of the injured, while the 13 who died as a result of the accident were kept in the mortuary.
And now to Bamenda in the northwest region, where local authorities have begun evaluating the losses that were incurred during the fire incident which ravaged over 400 shops at the Bamenda main market some days back. The affected traders say the inferno has left them frustrated, coupled with the crisis in Bamenda. Let's now have more with our northwest regional correspondent, Bustela.
These brand structures are not just shops. They represent livelihoods that have been interrupted as hundreds of millions of francs CFA were lost following Thursday, February 22nd fire incident at the Bamenda main market.
We get a loss close to 11 million every day for store. Even a small money over the gather for store. We lost all. If you look my face very well, you look my lips, I'm really down. And so I don't know cycle even starts.
Following the tragedy that left over 300 families stranded since their lives depended on the sales they made, the commission set up to evaluate the actual damage left behind has swung into action.
We want to know those who are effectively affected, because some they are paying and they are renting to others. But we want to assess exactly those who are concerned. Are you hearing? Yes, that's why we are here. And we do hope that when we send our report to the hierarchy, the government might take assistance to assist them.
The team has been moving from one store to the other with the hope that government will assist the victims in their efforts to bounce back, but this is what the traders want in addition to compensation.
I beg the government, say, after the reconstruction of this Bamenda main market, make it please, make we own bagua shop them. Because despite the fact, say, things like this don't happen for other places there, many shop owners, they don't be able to own back their shop them.
The hope now lies in the government's assistance to help these families restart from scratch.
And now we turn to the headlines that the month of March is dedicated to empowering women. The International Labour Force reveals that in Cameroon, the female labour force available to produce goods and services remains lower than that provided by men. Cameroonian women hold positions of responsibility at the national and international levels, but their economic power remains really low. This is because of their limited access to strategic decision-making positions. And the above were highlighted during a conference that took place here in Douala. It was aimed at empowering women to invest in themselves. Mala Glory has more.
Women are the backbone of the natural resource economy, yet they are often excluded from decision-making processes that directly affect their lives. Challenges in leadership hinders their participation. Given the need to promote women's economic rights and facilitate their access to leadership positions, female entrepreneurs convened a symposium hosted by African Empowerment and GICAN to drill women on leadership skills.
Under the theme Women and Change, and if there's anything that we know that technology itself is changing very rapidly, especially most so in the last 12 to 24 months. So today I had the privilege of speaking about artificial intelligence, explaining to the women who were in the room what it is, what the benefits are, what the risks are, and also what the opportunities are going into the future. I think
women should take advantage of the technology that is evolving to enhance their skills. Effective time management achieved through proactive planning is essential for leadership success.
You should start by knowing yourself first. If you don't know your weaknesses, your strengths, your area of amelioration, and everything is difficult. You see, you cannot develop your personal one. It's good for you to manage your emotion, then you try now to understand all the other people around you.
Participants at the event acknowledged the societal role of both women and men.
Leadership is about influence. I have my point of view, I have the way, the things I have to do, like my roles, even inside the family. My husband has his role, I have mine.
With more women sitting on boards and becoming CEOs, the dynamic is changing, with avenues opening up for qualified women to ascend the career ladder. Thus, professional development and more trainings will further empower women for leadership roles.
And now we talk something else. Acquiring a birth certificate in the southwest region of the country remains a challenge to the local population who are faced with security issues. According to authorities, birth certificates are supposed to be given free of charge, especially to children, but some civil status agents go about demanding money from them. Lucy Liengu Ese completes a story for us.
Hundreds of children and adults in the crisis-hit southwest and northwest regions of the country are without identification documents, especially birth certificates. This results from the long-armed conflict that has cost the lives of several persons and displaced over 1 million. According to municipal authorities of the southwest region, some civil status agents go around communities extorting money from people, whereas the acquisition of birth certificates in the region is free.
We are seeing that entry of information into civil status register is free of charge. That means it is at 0 francs.
The public independent councillator of the southwest region, in a meeting grouping mayors from the 6 divisions of the region, emphasized that every child has a fundamental right to a birth certificate.
I realized that even the registers and the secretaries or the clerks were also learning, and they were excited. You could hear from the acclamation they gave in the hall And I think that it is a message that has been given even to the Lord Mayor, so that if there are any heinous practices that were going behind the back, it has not come to the limelight, and I think that will stop, and it will be possible for the documents to be given free of charge as stated in the text.
The meeting was equally an opportunity for the administrators to table the challenges faced by their different municipalities, like lack of basic amenities and land disputes. The Public Independent Councilator of the Southwest Region urged the administrators to work in collaboration with the population so as to avoid discrimination or issues that may hinder the population from using the regional or council services.
And now we talk sports. The list of the 8 clubs to compete for the Elite One Championship title will be completed this weekend as the final matches of the Elite One Championship comes up. Meanwhile, the vacant position that has been left by the Ministry of Sports and Physical Education after the non-renewal of Rigobert's Song Bahana's contract has left many people talking. Smart Jikan Gabriel now comes back to those elements.
From Coton Sport of Garoua, Stade Rennais of Melon and Canon Sportif of Yaoundé, who have secured their places at the playoffs to determine the best Elite One club this football season. The 17 matches of the Elite One Championship programmed for this weekend will be very determinant for clubs like PWD of Bamenda, Young Sports Academy, Colombe of Janelobo, Union Sportif and Dynamo of Douala, Aigle Royal of Menua, Gazelle of Maroua, UMS of Loum and Fouvazu of Yaoundé, who will want to consolidate their places in the playoffs by winning their games. In Douala, the regional derby will bring together Dynamo FC against Union Sportif. Union with 24 points can force down Dynamo FC with 27 points at the table, which could make them fall out of the playoffs. At the training session of Dynamo FC and Union Sportive of Douala, we met confident players who are prepared to give in their best come this Sunday. Mathematically sure to play in the play down to fight against relegation, Victoria United alias Opopo has filed a complaint against players of Avion Academy, UMS of Loum and Young Sport Academy of Bamenda who had double identities. They are hoping to get 7 points from Fecafoot. That could give them an escape from relegation. The playoffs to determine the winner of the 2023-2024 football season will come up from April 9 to 30, 2024. Elsewhere, sports analysts are surprised at the vacuum left at the helm of the Indomitable Lions after the non-renewal of the contract of Rigobert Song and his entire technical staff. With some games coming up, many are thinking the Minister of Sports and Physical Education was supposed to name an interim team to take care of the Indomitable Lions while the public awaits the appointment of a new technical staff to manage the senior men's national football team.
Thanks much for that report. It brings us to the end of the first part of the news talking point. Comes up next. Welcome back, viewers. Our guest tonight is a leader. She is somebody who is very much interested in empowering women, and now we are in the month dedicated to empowering women across the globe. She is Emeldine King Joya. Emeldine, thank you so much for accepting to be our guest on Talking Point tonight. You are a leadership development consultant. You are also a best-selling author and founder of Ignite Your Life. Now, you are so passionate about empowering women, making women to be the best versions of themselves. Why the focus on women?
Me on your show. I'm excited to be here. I'm a woman, and I feel that as a woman, once you've done a thing, you should turn around and teach a thing. I've been an entrepreneur, I'm a leadership development consultant, I'm a corporate trainer, I empower women, and the reason why I decided to really zoom in on the Cameroonian woman now is just because I have so many friends who reach out to me for coaching, mentorship, conversations around leadership, leading a team, and I felt like I could come and contribute my 2 cents to the International Women's Day discussion that's going all over the place.
And now you have been meeting and discussing with several women in and out of Cameroon. Can you now tell us some of their preoccupations, some of those things, those issues that they always put out there to you during your discussions?
Interesting happening around Cameroon right now, which is a very good thing. I happen to have a couple of friends and colleagues, women who are leading companies. They're CEOs, some of them are senior managers, and many of them were not groomed to be leaders. They understand the technicalities of their business, they do their jobs, and when you find yourself as a CEO, you need a coach. So many of them talk to me about leadership. What does it take to lead? What are the qualities of a good leader? How do you get the women in particular in your company to become leaders, to assume the position of a leader? So I get a lot of conversations around leadership, especially as it relates to women. I also get a lot of conversations about having the women believe in themselves. I think that that's one thing that we need a lot of help in. And I'm glad that the theme this year is investing in women to accelerate growth. We need a lot of training about leadership, about owning themselves, understanding that it's okay to be a leader, a boss lady, if you could call it that. So conversations around getting women to really own their power, step into their purpose, and lead a team. I also get questions a lot around balancing career and work life at home. I think that that's applied for many women, maybe not just here in Cameroon, all over the world, because I call us 360-degree creatures, right? We at home, we in our families, we're at work, we're supposed to do it all. So I get a lot of questions around the work-life balance. How do I really give fully 100% at work now that I'm a leader, a general manager, a senior vice president, a CEO, and at the same time give my all to my family, you know, my husband, my kids, my in-laws, my sisters, and also be a citizen, right, a good citizen, and participate in the extracurricular activities in our society.
And now, Melton, to this question, which is always somehow controversial, why is it that most men think that women are in competition with them, especially women who hold leadership positions, who are at the head?
A lot of challenges around being a female leader, and it's a stereotype, but think about it. When you and I were growing up, I don't know about you, but when I was growing up, you had boys' rooms, girls' room, your parents, right, at home. And in the morning, 7 a.m., everyone in the girls' room was out. What were we doing? Cleaning the house, doing the chores, cooking the food, preparing the breakfast for dad and the boys, serving them in their room even, cleaning their rooms, brother, excuse me, and things like that. So they were groomed to be leaders, or they were told that they were going to be providers, leaders of companies and institutions and countries. Fast forward now, maybe 40 years, and here we are, and the world has changed. The dynamics has completely changed, and women are now CEOs, leaders, in some cases providers, maybe even the breadwinners at home, and it's difficult. There's so many instances where, because of that dynamics, where a man has been told for 40 years, 50 years that he's the king. Now he's with a woman who's a queen, contributing equally, if not even more than him. He's bound to feel a little bit insecure. And for lack of understanding, there's been a lot of issues, especially in relationships where the women are leaders, entrepreneurs, hustlers, if I may use that term. So what I would encourage you to think about is show some empathy, right? I've been in that situation myself. Just show some empathy. Understand that we need to have conversations. Try to make the man understand that we are partners. And it's also for the men to understand that, well, it's a partnership, right? That's what marriage is really about. It's a union, it's a partnership. And it doesn't really matter who earns more, who makes more, who has a better job. It does not matter. And I also find out that for some of these women, the challenge is their friends, is society. Sometimes maybe the man has no qualms, but the society, his family, make him feel like less of a man because his wife is the boss. But also to have the conversations with your family to say, it's okay. It's totally okay for my partner to be my helper. I think that way, not to be going to the Christian side, but when we were created, we were supposed to be helpmates. So we're supposed to help.
And now, since you're a leadership development consultant, I might want to know better. Maybe I ask the question in other words, like why do men want, why do they always want to empower the women, to overpower the women? I mean to say, like the women want to take their positions. Why is that?
First of all, I'm going to say, men, we're not trying to take your place. We need to make that very, very clear. It's not that we're in competition. We can never be in competition. I mean, even genetically, we're completely different human beings. So first, we have to understand that first. Secondly, women also need to understand that for some women, or I would even say for a majority of women, it's not that we want to prove a point to the man. And what I find out is that in a case where you see a woman trying to prove a point, it is because she's felt some pushback from the man. You know, I would assume that when you were having the conversation with your colleagues, you probably felt some pushback, some resistance to, oh, women, here we are again, we want to, but that's not what we want. We just want to be treated as